Well, good evening. I am Patrick, KM5L, and I was working on doing some Morse code here on the bands tonight. And, I elmer quite a few of you out there, those of you already hams that are learning Morse code for the first time, or even new hams that are learning Morse code for the first time. And as I'm working my own communications, like I was on the air tonight, there's some nuances that I didn't really give much thought to. I thought I would pass on to you that will help you in your journey if you knew them, early on. And this is really cool. Hopefully, this will be encouraging to you. The conversation I just had, it was on 40 meters on my vertical, and it was a very tough copy. I gave the guy a 559. He gave me a 559, but honestly, it was probably a 359. But anyway, and I was getting about every other word or so. But I wanted to present this video to tell you that you don't need every word. You can put the story together with every other word, or get at least the gist of the conversation, which is the goal. So this one was DK2KV, and let's take a look at my my report here, which if you look at it, it's like very confusing. DK2KV, RST 559. His name is Wolf, QTH. I thought he said near Munich, and I kind of have to back off of that now, but I probably got that wrong. But anyway, he said he had 300 watts, and I put that together with the 3T and the T. It's kind of a shorthand. And NTM is antenna. Now that I see he had phase, I had only copied like SED, and then verticals. I know that's going to be phase vertical, so I added that later, so I know that's true. ICOM 7200. Is there such a thing as 7200, or maybe that was 7300? Not sure. He said he was also running an L4 big amp. Very old. That is true. And he said the weather today was very nice but cool. So I went back and basically gave him the same information, but from my side, my station. Then he comes back and he says, solid now, Pat. I go by Pat on the air, which just because CW, you try to keep things short. I don't go by it on voice and in person. But it's short on Morse. Do you still have a Drake? And R4 is what he asked. And then he said he looked me up on QRZ. Let's see, the rig is a Drake. He has a Drake. I think he said C line, but I'm not sure. He said he has a TR7, which is a specific Drake, and use it from time to time. He says he's on a vertical, seems to do, he was acknowledging my vertical, seems to do a fine job. So that's what I got out of that. Okay, he says, thought Texas basically was warmer where I was. And I can tell you why I thought that, just because of some other comments later. But compared to Bavaria, interesting that he said Bavaria, huh? Okay, then I said kind of similar on my side. And again, most of this is like only half copy here, but I'm still putting this together. I told him I was a cloud computing architect, and he said, fine business, Pat, on computing. He says he's retired as teacher, and I didn't copy that right, but teacher, so I thought, okay, he's retired, especially since he is 70-something years old, 75 years old, active now, and then 55 years as a ham, and so on and so forth. Now, a couple of the things I'll mention, like this is just about 20 minutes or 15 minutes after I talked to him, and he, of course, is in this area. It's dark. It's morning. It's not dark now over there where he is. Probably, this is a little confusing, but he's going to be close to being in the daylight right now. So we were definitely near the gray line communication during that communication, and turns out he's actually near Oberhausen, which is right here. It's nowhere near Munich, so I don't know if if I just didn't copy that right, or maybe he has a second station. Kind of hard to say. Let's see what. There's really no other detail for him on here other than the pretty picture he's got of the town. From the town there and the look at the mountains. So, all this to say is the takeaways, the takeaways from this is you don't get nervous about losing characters and not even words, because just keep writing what you can, and as you go, you can fill in as you go, and you can also fill in after the QSO is over with. So take heart. Those of us that, have been experienced for many years, sometimes because of the communications path isn't as solid as it can be, you can still put the QSO together 99% of the time. Or maybe not that high percentage, but a pretty good percentage of the time. All right, 73 everyone, and good DX.